for our first Service Operations Workspace Academy session. I'm Mitesh Desai, and I have my co-presenter Brittany Lassiter here, and we are from our Product Excellence group at ServiceNow. We also have members of our product team who will be supporting us with Q&A in the session. Right. Couple of housekeeping items. Please use the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen for asking your questions. We'll also be recording the session and it'll be posted on our community site for later reference as well. Right, thank you. Safe harbor statement is mandatory. We might talk about any forward-looking statements. So do not make those are plans. They're not concrete guarantees. So do not make any financial decisions based on any forward-looking content. Right. In terms of agenda, so we plan to cover basics of service operations workspace. We'll start off with plugins. We'll talk about access and roles. We'll also talk about audiences, landing pages, dashboards, and we'll finish up with configuring the incident record page in service operations workspace. Next slide. I think we just introduced ourselves, so we'll keep moving forward. For the Service Operations Workspace Academy, we have 4 sessions planned out already. These will be monthly sessions with a very specific focus topic for each session. I will start off with basic configuration to help you set up Service Operations Workspace for your agents to deliver or work on incidents in Service Operations Workspace. That'll be the focus of today's session. We also have additional sessions planned out, so please make sure to look out for the community page and register for upcoming sessions as well. Right. The additional resources that we'll be sharing links to in the chat. Our product team also does an adoption series similar to this that is focused on forward-looking content as well as more around what the product is about, feature and functionality. So those are posted, recorded on YouTube as well. Along with there is a lot of content to help you get started and deploy SOW successfully. All right. So we talked a lot about ourselves. Let's get to know you a little more. So we have a couple of quick polls. If you can answer those, and then we can get into the content. If we have responses flowing in, we'll give 20 more seconds. All right. And I think we can end the poll now. The numbers have stabilized. So looks like we have a majority of the participants are admins. That is excellent. You'll find a lot of content around practical implementation tips and tricks, making configurations. So I think you'll find the session pretty useful. We also have some process owners and process managers I think you will find nuggets around what to expect from Service Operations Workspace. What are the possibilities with the product for your processes that you own and manage? So I think you'll find this session useful as well. And I see we have few end users and stakeholders as well. So I think this will give you also help you set expectations in terms of what to expect, how to use Service Operations Workspace, and if you're submitting incidents, how your agents are resolving your issues. We see some leadership as well, decision makers. I hope you find this session useful to make critical decisions around, what use cases you want to prioritize and how to go about Service Operations Workspace. Again, if you have questions about other things that we are not presenting, happy to please put in questions and happy to answer those as well. With that, we have one other question. Looks like we have majority of participants already responded. So looks like majority of you are just starting and exploring. So I think this is a perfect session for you to get started. Some of you are also actively configuring or have partially implemented. So I hope you find nuggets to add on to what you have already deployed, or you find inputs into things that you are configuring today. So I'm really looking forward to the session, and hopefully, you find things that you can take back and deploy in your environment. Right? We can move to the next slide. So as I said, we'll be starting off with fundamentals, plugins, roles, and access, and then we will move on to Admin Center. It is a critical component of deploying Service Operations Workspace, really helps accelerate your implementation journey. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about landing pages, how you can make landing pages your own with minimal configuration. And then we'll finally also look at incident form. You all use incident form on UI 16, or most of you do, I believe. And so how to easily configure the form on Service Operations Workspace to give access to the information and fields that your agents really need. So with that, we'll get started, and over to you, Brittany.
All right, thank you, Mitesh. My name is Brittany Lassiter. I have been with ServiceNow for a little under a year, but I've been a customer and a partner, just like some of you all, for about 10 years. During that time, I was an IT service manager, process owner for numerous processes, and of course, an ITSM ServiceNow consultant holding an ITSM for master. I love my processes and my ServiceNow sysadmin, so also a ServiceNow advocate here. So I'm happy to teach you guys about plugins, roles, and access to get you all started. So to reiterate, the purpose of today's session is getting you started with SOW configurations to implement and run SOW smoothly in your organization. So I did see a lot of you guys might already started and you want to add new features. You might see something that you've already seen before or done before since you already implemented, but for those of you that are exploring or still configuring, hopefully today's session will help. So first, plugins. We want to make sure you have the plugins you need to at least get you started. So here's a list of some of the plugins of SOW to enhance your experience. And on the far left is just, hey, what can get you started with SOW? And that plugin I think would be the Service Operations Workspace ITSM application plugin. That's a mouthful, but it contains a lot of what you need for SOW to enhance that experience. So I do have this listed on that second column of what it involves, but let me show you in the store as well. So we are here in the store, ServiceNow, so store.servicenow.com. I just searched Service Operations Workspace, ITSM application plugin. And as you can see, I can go to dependencies to see everything that's what's contained in that plugin. And I just wanted to showcase if it pulls up for me. Here we are. So CAB is included, recommended actions, Service Operations Workspace Core, on-call scheduling, walk-up experience. All of these are included in that one plugin. So that plugin contains a lot of information to get you started. Of course, the Admin Center and Theme Builder are, of course, good for you to start off as well. I do want to give you a heads up about the SOW ITSM application plugin. It's included with Yokohama release, but if you don't have the latest release just yet, no worries. You can upgrade to the newer version through the store that we just looked at. So each of those you can actually upload or purchase by themselves or separately. And each release that you do have does include specific versions of those additional features. Just a disclaimer about the feature availability, though, some of these are based on entitlements. So if you have a certain package, maybe Pro, you probably have access to others that other people don't if they have standard. All right, so we're getting you started from the basics here. So let's talk about roles. These are the roles needed to access SOW. ITIL is the main one, as you can see. You have it where you can have it where anyone with ITIL, the ITIL role has access to all of SOW pages, which inherits that role SN SOW.SOW_user. So inherits that role. That will give you access. But we're not going to go through all of these. I want to focus on the new service desk agent role at the bottom there, which was launched with the Yokohama release. So if you don't have Yokohama release, you might not have that exact role. But this role actually does not have the ITIL role. Isn't that cool? I think that's cool because it's a part of a broader effort to create a more specific role, less bloated roles than the traditional ITIL role. So if you don't want to give out that ITIL role that has access to a lot of things in ServiceNow, but you want a team to have access to SOW, you can give them the Service Desk Agent role. It includes read-write permissions for incident, problem, change, and request, the IPCR records, and those write roles automatically include the corresponding read conditions. So I do want to showcase that as well. So all I did was go to roles. I'm here in my instance. I just want to show you the actual role itself if it loads for me. All right, so as you can see, it has incident write, problem write, request write, change write. If I go into incident write, I have that inherited incident read role, and you can go further and you'll see other SOW things as well. All right. We've talked about the plugins, we've talked about the roles. Now let's talk about access to service operations. This is 101 here. So access to SOW is controlled and the stages listed. So is there a redirection? So redirection is actually pretty cool. It redirects your users directly to SOW once they log into ServiceNow. The how-to for this, that I included that in the resources links. So you can learn how to do that there, or you can watch it being demoed in our Adoption Series 3 on July 9th. A great session coming up. And that's our Adoption Series, different from our Academy Series, but still great sessions. So the other stage, or the next stage you have to consider for access, is does the user have the correct role? And we just talked about all the roles. So accessing manually or by redirect. And as you can see on the top right, the Service Desk Agent role is also mentioned on this slide. So the next stage is audience. what is the first, and first should be highlighted here, audience the user belongs to. So these are the steps that determine access in the landing pages for the user is redirected. All right, so what is an audience? I guess it's going to load there. We just learned about how to access it. It's redirect roles and audience or access SOW landing pages. Maybe you're not familiar with audiences, and that's what we're going to learn about today, which is exciting. So, what is an audience, you may ask? This is a document I pulled up. It's basically a way to define who can see your pages, and is this case your SOW landing page. So, in this case, it's the SOW landing page that we're going to create. You can create targeted experiences for groups by location, by department, by company. Like, for example, you could create an audience for an ITSM user in Europe who's not a manager. So we can have an audience created for that. So again, getting you started, we learned about plugins, roles, and access to get you set up for success today. And I will demo how to create an audience to showcase the admin center and adding an existing dashboard. So we're going to do that. As we stated, there are different access to SOW. So redirection, role, and audience. I'm creating an audience so I can get the audience to a specific landing page of my choice. So that's what I'm going to do today. So let's get started. Right now, I am at the admin center. So I don't know if you need a way to get there, you just go to Configuration Hub and then you go to Service Operations Admin Center. I didn't do that because it takes a long time to load sometimes because these instances are in the back end and might have a lot of loading of bandwidth. But right now I'm at the admin center, overview page. So the admin center provides a centralized control of the instance to admins. So I know a lot of you guys, I think it was a 40 or 35, or you guys are admins. If you haven't been here, it's amazing, especially if you're getting started with admin because they have configurations that you can do like incident. So it provides a single pane where an admin can access all platform capabilities, applications, plugins, and even help. So it consists of the overview, configurations tab, and the learning tab. So if I go to the learning tab, I'll show you that this learning tab has those resources similar to the ones I added to the chat. And it also has FAQs. So it's a great place to get some information. But if I go to configurations, and sometimes this takes a while to load, but hopefully it doesn't. When we go to the configurations tab, once it loads, you will see it has on the left side configurations of initial setup, where it has the same incident, problem, change, and it's still loading. We'll give this a second. And we need to get there so we can go to the landing page redirection in order for us to set up our audience. So we will see some of those system properties once the configuration tab is loaded up. I can't see if there were questions in the chat, but hopefully you all are asking questions or not necessarily in the chat, but in the Q&A. But hopefully you're asking questions in the Q&A and you're getting those answers to your questions.
There's a few and they're just getting answered as we go. So we're good. We'll call out if there's something.
All right. Thanks, Janet. Okay, we're just still waiting on this configurations tab. So as it loads, I'll just let you guys know the steps that we're going to go through. So I'm going to be creating an audience for the infrastructure team. Pretend that I'm IT service manager. The infrastructure team is like, hey, we just want to work our tickets in ServiceNow and not be bothered by other stuff. So I've spoken to the product owner or platform owner. I'm like, hey, can we get it to where the infrastructure team just has access to SOW where they have incidents, changes, problems, because they are more of a tier 3 group. That's where they're working on projects, potential things that need to be corrected. That's much bigger than tier 1 or potentially service desk. So they have a lot to handle. So I'll be creating the audience for that. The steps that we're going to go through are basically the role, the group, adding a role to that, adding a user criteria. So after the role, we have to create user criteria, and then that user criteria needs to be tied to the actual audience, and that audience will then be created or added to the UI builder for that landing page, tier 3 landing page that we will showcase in a few. And as you can see, it's still loading, but it's coming along. We have some progress, but those are those steps. And I will remind you guys what we're doing in a few as well. I guess we can probably, oh, here it is. Okay, it finally loaded. It likes me. It likes me today. But in the configuration tab, you will see the configurations of the initial setup. So this is really cool, where you can you can go to the landing page, and that landing page will showcase where you can click or adding. You can have adjustments or configurations for announcements, quick links, list view configurations for tier 1 and tier 2. And then the landing page redirection. So this is where we talked about redirection, where you can actually put in the redirection for SOW. But what's also something that we need to set up is enabling the glide.ux.user_criteria enabled setting. So when set to false, this is the default setting out of the box. Again, this is on true because I did that. But the default setting is false. All users are redirected to a single landing page regardless of their user criteria. But when I set it to true, the system uses user criteria to determine which landing page a user should be redirected to. So this allows for more granular control for different groups in the audience. That's what we're trying to set up. So from that information, the reason why I'm here, the reason why I waited for configuration to pull up is so I can ensure that this is set to true, so I can actually have my audience being demoed correctly. So if we go back, so now let's get started. Again, I'm creating an audience for the info team. They just want to go to SOW just to see what they have as far as incidents and changes, as well as problems. So let's get started. So I'm going to go to their group themselves, the info team group. So as you can see, these members like William, there's no role associated to this group. If we check out William Jones, he's just associated to the info team. So he doesn't really have any roles or anything associated to him. And so if we go to if we impersonate him, he also doesn't have access to any other workspace. So if I type in service operations, he doesn't have any access to that. So we're going to change that, William. You're going to have access sooner or later to SOW. All right, so if we go back to our groups and add the, All right, so we want to add a role to this group. So we go to edit, and which role do you think I'm going to add? I know you're thinking hard. It is that SN Service Desk Agent role, that new one that Yokohama has. That way I don't have to add ITIL or anything. It's already going to be added. They don't need that bloated ITIL role. They can just use the SN Service Desk Agent role. So that's added, and now we just need to add the user criteria. So this is under knowledge, administration user criteria, and I just need to create a new user criteria to associate that. So we'll name it the UC Infra Team, have a short description, or we don't really need one. We can just add the Infra Team as the group. All right. Oh, forgot to say. It looks like my user criteria is not popping up. Which I don't know why, but we'll submit that. And then we'll go to audience and create our audience here. So we'll go to new. And then add a description here. And then we'll save, and then I should have the user criteria pop up. So this is where we would add our user criteria to our audience themselves. So that user criteria contains the group infra team as well. So we can go ahead and just update that. So we've added the group, we've added a role to the group, we've added user criteria, we've added that user criteria to the audience, and we created an audience. So our audience is done, congratulations. But now we need to add that audience to the particular landing page. So if we go to UI Builder, and of course, that's all Now Experience Framework UI Builder. Then I go to Experiences, and you want to find Service Operations Workspace. So this is an UI Builder to Service Operations Workspace. We talked about landing pages and how they're in conjunction with audiences, and this is the main point of this exercise. So the two, as you can see, there's 4 out-of-the-box landing pages. The 2 inactive ones are the older versions of Service Operations Workspace, and then the active one landing page, that includes that PAR in the name. They use dashboards that are preferred for our version. The ordering of these are important. The ordering of these landing pages determines which one appears first, with the lower numbers having the higher priority. So I want to showcase the tier 3 landing page just out of the box, just so you can see what it looks like. And this is perfect for the infra team because it has all of their work that they're working on, whether it's an incident, a problem, a change, or a task. Maybe the infrastructure team needs to put in a change for a server. There's an incident happening, or there's a problem that needs to fix. Maybe a major incident caused the problem. So this is all of the information they need, and this is perfect for the infrastructure team. So let's go back and add them as an audience. I have to change my scope to the Service Operations Workspace ITSM Common in order to make edits to this. And when I do so, I'm able to edit all audiences. This is where I will add the audience that I just created, which is the Infra Team Audience 1. So as you can see, that's added. And let's see if William has access. We'll impersonate him just to see. All right, so he now has access to Service Operations Workspace. Let's go there. Where is it going to take me? Yes, took me in the right place. So he has now his Service Operations Workspace landing page has incidents, problems, changes, and tasks. So whenever he's ready to work, he can just go to his workspace, his SOW page, and as you can see, it has all of the things he wants. There's one other thing though, William. William is like, hey, I have a dashboard that I love. And as you can see, I'm making the assumption you are familiar with SOW, so I'm not going to go through these side panels. But as you can see, there's a dashboard icon. William doesn't have access to his old dashboard, and he told me as the IT service manager, why doesn't he have it? So I go to the ServiceNow team. I'm like, we need to add this dashboard in for William because he wants to look at other stuff. So let's go ahead and do that as well. So if I can stop impersonating him, I'll go back to being an admin. And all I have to do is go to platform analytics. Platform analytics and then dashboards. Oh, I bookmarked what he needed already. So you can set these dashboards to whatever, but this is just an example. And it looks like I'm still, let me make sure that I'm in global. But the way you can add this dashboard to SOW is by clicking edit and then going here. Once you're here, you want to make sure that this dashboard visibility also has service operations. I'm also going to let William be the owner. And let's save it. Let's see if he has access to this dashboard on SOW. So we will impersonate the user. So again, that was an existing dashboard that he had in Platform Analytics. It wasn't being showcased in SOW, and now he has it here. So we have Will in the infrastructure team set up for success, ready to do their work in SOW. So that was the demo of that, and I'm going to turn it over to Mitesh.
All right, that was an excellent demo, Brittany.
Thanks.
And we are going to configure our incident record page here. This is my Service Operations Workspace landing page. And there are a number of options installed here, but I'm going to the list view. And I have a list of incidents here, and I'm going to pick one. This is a demo instance, so they're not lightning fast as yours. So there are three parts in the incident record screen. There is the content here, where you see four tabs. There is an overview section. There is an investigation tab, which comes with the service operations, where you get information from ITOM components as you're investigating your incidents. We'll not talk a lot about that today, but just something for you to know about. If you're licensed for ITOM, that is something that you can use as well. with the plugin is called Investigation Framework for Service Operations Workspace. There's also this details tab, and then there is related records, which on UI 16, you might be familiar with the related list at the bottom of the page. So there is this content section. There is also the activity stream on your UI 16 page. You find it at the bottom of the screen. It typically takes up a lot of real estate, and you know the pain of scrolling through it. But here you have this adjustable component here where you can put in work notes, additional comments, draft emails, and so on. And then you have this side panel where you have AI-based recommendations, contextual search, experts on call, and a number of other features that come along with Service Operations Workspace. We'll not go into detail on each of those, but we have sessions that will be focused on configuring additional options here. So do look out for future sessions on those. But today we'll be focusing on how to configure, how to change this incident page. If you have something different, if you have custom fields, or if you have different views configured on UI 16, how can you bring that here? Also, do you want to show this overview tab to your service desk agents or not? So we're going to go into a lot of those options here. So with that, I'll switch back to the admin center, which is where we always start with configurations. I'm on the configuration tab and going into incident management. As you can see, there are other record types here that you can also configure directly from incident page. We'll be focusing on incident record today. Here you can select with a single toggle. You can select whether you want to show the overview page to your service desk agents or not. And you can also configure the different sections that we ship out of the box. And then there is details pages, there is incident properties. So really one-stop shop for you to access everything you need to configure incident record on SOW. So we'll go into details uh, tab, and we'll try to configure that. This goes into UI Builder. If you've used UI Builder for other things, we have come a long way in last few releases in terms of making this super easy to configure. Quick tour if you are not familiar. So starting with the left side here, you select which table you are working on. You select the form from this drop down, which form you're trying to change. And then you have the application scope. So it is always good to be in the right application scope. Looks like that's what I have here. Incident management for Service Operations Workspace is the application scope for this page. And then you have UI policies, business rules, client scripts, one place to configure and view all of them, so you don't have to juggle with multiple windows and tabs. We also have workspace view rules here, so you can, if you want to configure different views on workspace for different teams or different roles, you can do that here as well. We'll go back to forms. It's an easy click on the forms button over here. On the left-hand side, you have your form elements. So you have the incident record fields on the table available for easy access. You can also add a field on the table as well if you need right from here. Again, reduce navigation there. You have some UI components in terms of annotation and new sections if you want to add. And then you have formatters and embedded lists that you can add to the page as well. Here you can access the different sections within the details tab, and you can get easy access to the fields. If we click on a field, you get all the field properties on the right. So you have the label, you have the default value, dependent fields, choices, again, everything easy to configure right from one place. And you also are able to see UI policy right from here, and you can open up and change. Recommendation here is not to change what is the record is available out of box. Recommendation is to make a copy of it. I'm sure you're familiar with that since majority of you are admins. But what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a couple of easy configurations. Here, really straightforward. We'll search for, um, we'll put an annotation here. So once you select the field, click on add, and then we'll have annotation. And then we can edit the property right here. So we can say, um, this is an information box. And then save. We'll also add a field or so here just so we can try it out. I will add additional assignee list. So go to fields and we'll add additional assignee list. As always, I can see properties over here and I can make changes as well. We'll save the record. Then we have an option to do a quick preview over here as well. So we are able to see the info box and we are also able to see the additional assignee list. So pretty straightforward configuration. Always make sure to be in the right application scope so you don't run into conflicts when you are moving update sets. Also, make sure to select your the right update set here before you go into configuration. So you're capturing updates in the appropriate place, again, to make your migration between environments easy. So that's about it in terms of configuring the incident record page. We didn't go into all the sections, but the process remains the same. If you want to configure the overview page, you can go into these options and configure fields and options over there. One other nugget is you can also, I think what I mentioned here is you can use the views. So this is similar to how you used to create views in UI 16, going into views and changing fields and so on. So that is something you can do over here as well. But that's about it. We are happy to take any questions. If there are any unanswered questions here, we can do that. Brittany, you want to bring up the deck? Did we cover everything? We had one other poll, I believe.
So I'm going to bring that up right now so we can do a poll. Let me start the poll. And then we'll do some questions and answers or Q&A. Let's see. All right. Let's do our last poll here.
It looks like people are still answering. We'll give some few more seconds. Looks like the numbers have stabilized. We can end the poll. Looks like majority of you do feel confident about adopting Service Operations Workspace or adding more features to it. some of you are feeling unsure at this point. We'd love to hear from you. If you can put into the chat as to what else would you like to see and how, what kind of content would help you, migrate over to the yes bucket. So please put that into the chat so we can, prioritize content or post additional content in community, share links, and do what we can to help you be successful with this product.
Session was good. Is there a part two? I love to hear that. Yes, there's a part two. I think we shared, let me go to the other slide. There will be a part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to December, hopefully. Every second Thursday of the month, we have our Academy series, but we also have our adoption series 2 times a month. And you can check it out on live on ServiceNow for all of those. Make sure you register and join. All right, thanks. We'll end. Have a good one.